Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are going to be continuing the narration for the main story of Arknights. Continuing in episode 9, aka chapter 9, Stormwatch. And now, considering this is part 2, feel free to skip this little intro where I usually recap the previous episode by just hitting the timestamp that I usually leave in the comment section below the video. But let's begin with the usual spiel. In the previous part, we have been introduced to a new region, or rather a new country by the name of Victoria, where the story is currently taking place. And we are also about almost, besides a couple of squish days, a full year later, past chapter 8. Meanwhile, a bunch of stories, as I've shown in the last episode, have taken place, but we are now in a new place, a new country, and a new county. Namely, we are in County Hillock, a small region in Victoria and its nomadic city. And we are not for once observing the events unfold from actual full-on Rhode Island operators, even though we as players already know some of them as actual recruitable characters. We are mostly observing the story unfold so far and for a long time throughout this chapter, through the view of future operators Horn and Bagpipe, including Jane Willow, aka Saileach, who will later become one of the recruitable 6-star vanguards, plus a bunch of other characters that are important to the story that are there, including a elite operator by the operator name of Outcast that has been sent to pretty much do recon on what is going on in County Hillock. We also see a brief glimpse of Blaze, who is apparently on another mission to another region in Victoria for some kind of whatever thing they are doing over there. But most importantly, we get introduced to this region very quickly and its situation. And it is a pretty much tense situation. It is a pressure cooker, essentially. It's the best way to put it, I guess. The region is tense because of slowly tensions boiling up, considering that in the past this region was known to be under the control of a group of people called the Tarans. And well, as the Draco King and the Aslan family in the past pretty much stopped warring and pretty much took over Victoria as a whole and shared it in between each other. We'll get to those parts. But essentially, Tarans have been taken over, or rather integrated into Victoria, and now as some old feelings start to come up again, stuff has been prepared in the background for a while now, as is evident. But coming back to our dear operators, we see operators Horn and Bagpipe on a mission sent from Victoria, or rather Londinium, to investigate the disappearance of Originium ornaments from various warehouses in the region, plus to investigate this spectral force, some kind of army that is in the shadows doing guerrilla missions against different, not just County Hillock, not just County Hillock in general, but the different other nomadic cities in the region. But they are there to investigate, and they are continuously being blocked off by the local garrison, who are very much trying to not let them do their thing, as is evident very quickly, or rather they are just mostly being annoying to them, to be fair. But on the other hand, we also see that they are very, very, very racist against the local Tarans, who are still, obviously, their descendants are still there, and they are being very, very oppressed by the Victorians. But in the meantime, we also see that Jane Willow, who is pretty much you could just call her a poster girl for the military garrison, is pretty good friends with the Rhode Island office that is situated in County Hillock. and she pretty much almost every day just spends it with the operators there who are on station. And soon they are also joined by Elite Operator Outcast, who is, as I said earlier, they're on an investigation job, essentially. And yeah, that is pretty much what we got out of the last episode. A lot of introductions to a lot of characters, to a lot of tension, and we left pretty much off as some stuff started happening, some conflict in between the local garrison and potentially the spectral force, as heard over radio transmissions. But we have been introduced to technically 2 or 3 sides at this point, so now today it will be time to be introduced to the other side. So, today we're going to be covering the story from stages 5, 6, 7, and I believe 8, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, and 8. But let's begin on stage 5, titled Critical Value. The downpour is here, the enemy is everywhere, and the frustration is slowly reaching the breaking point. So let's begin with the before part. "4:23 p.m. Cloudy, turning overcast. McMartin Brothers Chip, first floor." Still no reply. "None. Haven't gotten a peep from Londinium yesterday or today. It's been 20 hours. They have to have received the last telecoms by now. Could the encrypted line be faulty? Hard to say, sir. Being honest, it's been nearly 10 years since I graduated, transferred to Hillock. There's not much information you need to activate the secret comms line. 2 years back around the end, I reported to our group's boss, and he asked me if I had anything to say other than whatever number kids were being born, and that if I hadn't, I could save even giving the routine reports. Oh, no wonder you opened this chippy. Not a bad plan, right? Codename's not Chef for fun. Thought at the time, suppose some outsider wanted to sniff out our liaison point, they'd only suspect next door bookshop. Aye, right. Besides, your chips are delicious too. Ought to be, eh? You fill yourselves up. Hillock's potatoes are high quality. Locals all love my chips. If I didn't still remember my actual job as a lamplighter, I would have opened up branches ages ago. 5, 6 of them. Anyhow, I thought I was dreaming of the time I was in training again when you gave the secret knock at the door yesterday. It seems highly likely this line was abandoned long ago. Or perhaps someone's received our info but doesn't want to reply. You mean there's people intercepting our intel on purpose, leader? Not easy to say yet. We'll send the next report as we would originally. Right, and besides, Triangle's findings add on the outcome of my dialogue with Colonel Hamilton. The Colonel's target measures against a portion of the residents are already extremely suspicious. In the worst case, I'd like for our team to be allowed more flexibility. That sounds like there's no point in me convincing you to use Barracks Messenger, is there? Leader, I don't want to say this, but we're a little low on numbers. That definitely isn't like you to say. Relax though, nobody wants to take that step. But the circumstances about this city are far more complicated than any of us foresaw. Chef, seeing as you've been in County Hillock for so long, how do you feel about the people here? Nothing unusual to me. If you put a Taran in front of me right now, I wouldn't fancy them much different from a Victorian anywhere else. To tell the honest truth, if life's not bad, who'd want to make trouble all the livelong day? Quite a few wear ideals on their sleeves, but only a minority ever take them to heart. Most just care about filling their stomachs, and if they're full, they can care about the purse too. Right you are. I can barely imagine Damien Barry caught up in the Spectre Force either. In my eyes, him and the locals were all normal people, Scared stiff, begging for forgiveness the moment they're arrested, coming together when a loved one dies just so they could fall to pieces and weep. They're nothing like the trained soldiers at all. What you're saying is exactly what I'm worried about. Colonel Hamilton might have been spouting more than just alarmist talk. When ordinary people take upon weapons, voluntarily or not, the disaster we then face will be the likes of which Victoria hasn't seen for a very long time. Afternoon, Saoirse. Lucky me, I was just about to go find you at the newspaper. What's wrong, Saoirse? Were you just crying? Jenny, no, I'm alright. I'm perfectly fine. Pull the other one. Your eyes are all puffy and your face is pale as sheets. The Saoirse I know would never be caught in the streets looking this ghastly. Something gave you a nasty shock, didn't it? Who bullied you? Was it that soldier from last time? I'll help you think of something. There has to be something. No, Jenny, don't you fuss. He hasn't come bothering me again. I don't know how to put it. Come on, deep breaths. It's me right here, your very good friend. You're safe now, I promise. Jenny, why? Why are you one of them? What are you talking about, Saoirse? I don't understand. I don't want you to get hurt. You're the best friend I have, and you're a good person. I'm good too, right? My ma, da, and cousin, aren't we all good people? Your cousin Barry? You mean Damien Barry? I'm so sorry I wasn't fast enough. It's not your fault, and I don't think it's mine. I just want to live peacefully. I don't want to see any more people I care about die. Cry it out, Saoirse. I'm here with you. Seeing a loved one pass on and still having to manage your work, it's too much pressure on you. Here, lean on my shoulder. It'll be more comfortable. That's okay, thank you, Jenny. I'm much better just seeing you. I understand what I have to do now. This for you. Is this an address? I could give you a few names too, but there's no need. I don't want to put you in even more danger. This address should be enough. You can hand it to someone you think's reliable. Your sergeant major or maybe another officer like Uncle Lewis. I know there's people around asking about Damien. They want to be clear what it is we're plotting. Plotting? Saoirse, even you? I'm not sure. You can believe me or not, I've only been responsible for passing on some info some ways. A few notes stuck between book pages, one of two hiding signals in the Hillock evening's news classifieds. I used to think this was for making everyone safer. I didn't twig what dreadful things they're scheming, not until the dispatch I just heard by the chief editor. Never mind that, I'm not trying to justify myself or even repent. What's important is that you stop them as soon as you can. All right, I will. I'm sure of who I should give this to. She'll fairly treat you all, more than anyone else would. Saoirse, don't be scared. Everything will be all right. All right, Jenny, I trust you. Remember, it's 8 p.m. Hold onto this address tight. East side of the statue at the District 10, third alleyway on the left. There's a bookshop there with a flower pot by the door. Yellow rose. Found it. To Bagpipe. Do I just leave it under the flower pot like this and call it done? A loose brick right there, exactly like they said this morning. This really is an unusual way of receiving your letters. Friend from Londinium, I hope you can be of help to Saoirse and all of us.
Boss, someone left a slip downstairs under the yellow rose. Bring it in.
Yellow rose? So it's for me? That was fast. The informer you mentioned before? Aye, she's a soldier at the barracks too, but I can assure you, leader, she's warm-hearted. She's good. I hope you've gotten an eye for people. No worries, my eyesight's always been brilliant. What's it say on the slip? 109 Dam Street, tonight 8 p.m. That's all. Dam Street? It's the boundary between District 10 and 11. Rings bells for me. It's Baron Bolton's estate. Looks like there's an important meeting tonight. Bagpipe, we should go. This is where you were. That's right. Sipping hot tea, skimming the paper, doing things befitting a woman of my age. Whew. Strong wind kicking up. Found what you were looking for? Outcast speaking in Taran. When you want to find tomorrow, you go meet with yesterday. You can speak Taran. Can't speak much at all. What you hear is what you get. Just showing off what I learned. Hard to believe. Oliver was right. You're an incredible one. You've got a nice rush the first time you impress somebody, but there's diminishing returns on the second and third round. Nobody at our office even knows how to speak Taran. Considering your backgrounds, that's reasonable. Oliver grew up in a middle-class household in northern Londinium, with family roots in Gaul. He lives upstairs from the office these days, taking some time off every year to go back and see his wife and children. Fred's more or less an apprentice from County Peninsula. He's got a bunch of brothers and one little sister, and the whole family gets along like a dream. Will's a local. His clan moved decades ago from a fixed village nearby, and his Taran's blood probably from his parents' grandmother. You've looked at our data? Do I look like the type who does homework? Not my style. Then, how do you know? Language. Name, pronunciation, wording, tone, and even where you pause. Language tells a keen ear more than you could ever guess. I heard about how Sancta extraordinary are, but I've never figured. Really, it's just a hobby of mine. Anyhow, language itself holds a special significance to some folks. Why else would the Tarans have cared so much about digging a sample of their own language out of a pile of old books? You're not wrong. Half a decade ago, barely any Tarans regularly spoke it. And you? You've probably heard it in me. I'm not a Taran. My wife was. She only taught me a word or two while she was still alive. Yet nowadays you see that gradually dying language all over the newspaper. Plus, I just overheard someone outside the window teaching kids how to call each other in Taran. Until you mentioned it, I never noticed. Language binds a people together tighter than most things. A language doesn't get diluted over time like bloodlines do, and it doesn't get weighted on the scales of cost-benefit analysis like everything else. Looks like there's some out there who wants to exploit those ties, bring back together the community that's been loosening away, but with that the gatherings that already were lose their stability. Victoria won't just sit back and let this play out right under its nose, and yet the harder you pull, the harder the backlash will snap. You all know why I came, don't you? Actually, I'm not that sure. I just feel like you wouldn't need to bother an elite operator to go fetch data in person. Numbers on paper don't mean a thing against seeing it with your own two eyes. Put it that way, I really am here fetching data. Could you just tell me one more thing? In the last 6 months, how many local businesses suspended collaboration with us? 7. 3 on top of last month's report. In modern Victoria, when any wind steers the grass, it's the big merchants' wallets that feel it first. I need to head out, get a few more eyefuls of this place. Make it before the city gets drowned under its dirty rain. Leader, you've had your eyebrows wrinkled ever since morning. We don't have much time to go. The Spectre Force move is inconsistent in ways with past incidents. Their execution was covert before rapid. Every time we thought to chase them, we'd find the leads wiped clean. But now... Oh, like they finished knitting a jumper and just tossed yarn ends on the floor? Barely an idea of how each end is linked. Barely an idea of how each end is linked to. And moreover, these leads have all cut off at County Hillock. It's not just you. I'm feeling trapped as all heck too. The city is just like a pressure cooker.
What did I say earlier?
The city is just like a pressure cooker sealed shut. The residents, the barracks, everyone's twitchy, and people are getting up in arms anywhere and anytime. Everyone's waiting for when the first bolt strikes. But if it does truly strike, what will the city, no, Victoria become? Leader. Someone's tailing us. So they are. See that alley to the west? Understood. Stop where you are. Hold on, what? It's a little bear, and you look kind of familiar too. Sorry, I'll let you go now. I thought it'd be someone, I thought it'd be some baddie following us. Ball. You dropped your ball, so you came back here to pick it up? I'll ask you to hurry home now. It's not too safe here. Your mom and dad'll worry for you if you go running all over. False alarm, leader. Just one child? No, that doesn't seem quite right. It wasn't just one person following us, and the fact they could go several streets without us noticing means they definitely have experienced tailing. Did you see anyone out of the ordinary just now when you hit up high? If I have to say, there was a street not far away with a particularly bright ring I caught a glimpse of. Sancta. Let me get a piece of cake and this apple pie, and I'll have some of those cookies too. Tough call. Warfarin has been telling me to lay off the sweets. Hey there, quick question. Which of these cakes is the sweetest? Like you don't know. Come on, you've been in County Hillock a while, haven't you? If I had to guess, probably over 3 years of service.
Who are you?
Calm down, I could tell. And the nice folks you're following sure could too. Your cover's blown anyway. Why don't you try some of this apple pie I bought? It's good, I'm telling you.
You're weird, Matt Sancta. Where did you come from? Why are you trying to get in my way?
Me? I'm not. I'm just passing by.
Team 12, target lost. But judging by the direction they disappeared, it's likely they're heading for Dam Street. Alright, I understand. I'll bring them straight away. We'll check through one by one. I'm warning you, Sancta. If it's not yours to meddle, don't meddle.
Warning me? If I had a nickel for every time I heard that... You know, I ain't exactly used to walking around unarmed.
I've got no time to listen to you talk big. Soldiers, we're moving.
You can breathe now, shopkeep. The soldiers are all gone. Mind bagging up these sweets for me? I got some folks back at the office who ought to try them. After all, it's about time I called all my little friends back from their fieldwork.
Alright, and continuing on into the after story. Honorable lady, I am most privileged to inform you the dinner party is all ready.
So slow. You're aristocrats taking your sweet time with everything you do. You're a nightmare.
It was my inadequate reception. Please, permit that I express to you my most sincere apologies.
You can save your breath. How many will be coming today exactly?
All of County Hillock's fine minds have received the invitation, including our most widely celebrated bard as of recent, Seamus Williams.
Bard? I'm bored dead already. What about the nobles and merchants you promised to find?
Of course, they'll all be coming too. For example, the leader within the South region's textile industry, Sir Pollard, recipient of the McCoy Prize, Dr. Bashir, and the owner of more than 10 steelworks, Mr. Evans.
Oh, these people you mentioned, especially that last one, they're definitely coming?
Yes, and a portion of them have already arrived. I heard a most honorable guest has turned up, and quite a few celebrity intellects from other cities have come flocking too, all for a single glimpse of you and your compatriots' presence. Oh yes, and as per your request, I've drawn up this list of names for your perusal whenever you should.
Bit too many words, but you've done good enough work. Alright, you can head off now.
Deeply grateful for your generous praise. Once you're ready, please inform me. I simply cannot wait to see this ordinary little parlor of mine be dazzlingly belightened by your arrival.
Why are you still here? Weren't you done talking?
Please allow me to ask one last question. The most honorable lady there, have we even the sliver of a chance that she may alight on the venue too?
That's not yours to ask. Clear off. Mandragora, what has you feeling all flustered? Less of that tongue-in-cheek giving me reflux. What? We all know you'd never really give a shit about anyone. Harmony.
Every time I see that name, I'm almost immediately going to Hermione. But yeah, pardon.
Then I'll have to put it another way. You've been blocking my light with your half-wit ambling. I'd like to finish reading this lovely novel, dear. Are all of you rich people like this? Hang instruments up a wall, buy a few books, act like you're filling the windows so nobody notices how you've got nothing at all in your head. I'll take having a window to fill over having nothing of anything inside or out, wouldn't you say? You... Now, you're not happy to calm down for a while, I see. How about this? If which foot forward first bothers you so much in this ball you know nothing about, I can be your lead for the dance. What complete shit are you on about? I'm thinking of bigger things. With this many nobles and merchants coming, if we can get their support, then forget just occupying one scant little hillock. We could snatch the whole of Londinium. Mandragora, time to hold still. At this point, can't you just let that grotty book of yours go? Do you even think for 1 second about anything important to the leader or me? I'm not saying anything about your oh so helpless gait. I'm saying take your roller coaster babble and hold it still. And all that absurdity you're exhausting your little brain with too. You telling me to hold it now? As if I could. Lying out and assigning roles, swallowing my sick to set this meeting up. How much of me do you think I've poured out for this plan? I couldn't wait since forever ago. I can't wait for Dublin's fires to burn the city through. Rip this lie of a titan under our feet apart. And you, huh? You and that shameless fake taking what should be the glory of the leader. It is really time for you to shut up now. And at what point was your job to make decisions for the leader? It's me. Yes, we're still here. Oh. Things have gotten a little interesting at long last. Seems we've no need to scrap in here with about whether your little schemes of insolence are feasible or not. Is it news from that bastard? Someone sniffed out this location. I have a feeling it'll be more than your friend's little invitees coming to the meeting tonight. People from the army? More or less. My, maybe some of my acquaintances too. Hi, I want to... Put away your staff. You'll get your chance, but it won't be now. It's time we go. We've got other things to do. Leave it to her. Leave it to her in here. We might be in for a good show before we know it. I was starting to fantasize about how it'd look if this horrible room broke down into slag. Leader, I didn't imagine slipping in would be as easy as this. Here I thought we'd have to find a way to infiltrate. Not out of the question. That said, go in the proper way and it's more convenient to find a conversation partner. Friend at the barracks got some real precious information. Can't be that many who know about this meeting. A lot of secret aristocrat parties are held this way. They usually think of invitation letters as passé. So long as you have a chance to tap for info, plus a token of proof of identity, you have what you need to pass the doorstep. You never told me your family was all big famous nobility. Does it make a difference? When I was in school, the noble students always stuck with their own. Of course, they studied together, but after school they never did much with the rest of us if they could help it. Don't tell me you actually like all the pomp and formality. Ceremonial gowns go you only wear once, the trending look changing every week. Curtsy greetings and ad nauseum. Don't even remind me. Actually went to that kind of thing once or twice with a good friend, and just trying to remember which fork you used to eat first made my head want to explode on the spot. Perfect. I'm not much of a fan either. Even if I'm loath to admit it, just having this family name does come in handy once in a while. Leader, the people coming here today, are they all supporters of the Spectre Force? I don't necessarily think so. Mr. Williams, I finally get to meet you. I heard you were coming and came bolting right over from County Peninsula just to ask if you could sign the anthology in my collection here. Of course, fine lady. It would be my honor. Seamus, my dearest great bard, here you were. I just finished reading your newly published tales from history. Such fascinating writings. It was the first I learned that us Terrans had such a grand storied past. Thank you, but they're works of fantasy, adapted from an array of folk legends. The greatest value in my work is simply unearthing gems buried in sandstorms. All the better for more to see. You truly are too modest. The Draco King Gale you penned, founding by himself the most radiant culture that was Tara. He stood grand and wise, so much so that my dreams are flush with emotion and he's part of them all. Yes, too true. In my eyes, you're like the Lithanians' grand musicians, with the chance to make change to an entire era. I must say you exaggerate. So long as you wanted, all of Victoria's publishers would be wide open to you, every one of them waiting to translate your works into the ink of different languages. And when that happens, every country across the land will realize our Terran culture has its own unique charm, not to be stifled by the ever-same grumble of Victoria's machines. If only things could be so wonderful. If more and more international figures come to support us, our voices will be so much more easily heard by the dukedom and parliament. Right you are. I'm a Victorian citizen same as everyone else, but just because some great-great-grandfather of mine was King Gale's subject, suddenly I'm being asked to pay so much more inheritance tax. How preposterous. Even so, Mr. Evans, you still give vigorous employ to plenty enough of our fellows, providing everyone the chance to gain their footing upon the city of grace. No wonder you and your clan are the pride of us Tarans. Quite right, our fellows. It's far from easy for them to find any respectable work. I hear they toil in the factories for a week and only earn ye little coin. Yet Victorian workers from other backgrounds are able to earn twice as much in your factories.
Allow me to say something perhaps a little out of fashion. It's far from simple to have our neighbors of strength acknowledge us, isn't it? Please, think about it, everyone. Were it only with its music and poems, how could Lithuanian become the Lithuanian of today? Just as Lithuanian has casters that intimidate, we Taurans must depend on more practical powers if we want to gain recognition, such as the technological support of some friends from far away. And by pure luck, I have just the tiniest means by which I receive sponsorship, and I would be overjoyed to take the opportunity to let the friends of the Baron share in it.
You're absolutely spot on. Any subsidy is of great importance. If you let it all pass you by, then no matter how daft your tongue, you watch for the day it dries up and lacks the power to express.
From that perspective, I'm the same as everyone here. We are all yearning for a whole new era, so why not give a toast to this common dream of ours?
Truly, an evening to inspire. How strange. Where did Mr. Mr. Williams get off to? Good evening, Mr. Williams.
Greetings, ma'am.
I hope I'm not bothering you. Are you writing?
Just a small poem. It's been several days now and I still haven't finished it. I was thinking this meeting would give me some inspiration, but it seems now there's still no form of the muse.
These settings always like to use up a person's energy too quick. Do you also feel a little worn out?
Caught red-handed. If it weren't for Charles, the Baron, inviting me so ardently, I would have preferred to spend the night reading by my own fireplace.
Wouldn't we all? I bet every person willing to participate in this sort of thing is forced to for a living.
I like that way of putting it. You're not a Taran, ma'am, are you?
You guessed correctly. I imagine a lupo's a rare sight among the residents here.
I've inadvertently judged background by race. Though you're deliberately choosing vocabulary we're more used to, your accent still exposes you. It's the accent only a Victorian noble receiving a standard Londinium education would have.
No wonder you're a great bard, extremely sharp.
The first step to writing is observation. I can even tell you and they have different purposes for coming.
You're suspecting me?
Suspecting what? I'm only here to exchange some ideas, and you're exchanging with me right now.
No matter if I'm not a Taran.
Precisely because you're not. A glass of malt liquor? Thank you. Would you like anything to drink, ma'am?
I'll be fine. Standing in the window breeze is plenty enough for me.
Then we'll continue our merry chat. What were we just saying? Right, yes. Words and writing were born for the purpose of exchange, including both conversations, past and future, and this talk between you and I, here and now.
You're the one allowing for me. If you use Taran, I'd be as good as deaf.
In this party, you'll be hard-pressed to hear any Taran.
It just clicked for me, actually. All the works of yours I've read are written in Victorian.
Rhyming confines a poet's imagination. Characteristically, Victoria's poems, when you read them, are very unlike Lithuanians. I much love reading poems written in Old Taran. Reading them written is like touching upon, feeling another face of history. But I've no plans to pass myself off as anything. I grew up speaking Victorian. My thoughts are molded by the language, and if I started to write Taran instead, I'd be a clown dancing in shoes far too big for him. I hear there are many longing for the revival of Taran culture. Of course, I'm one of them. Our city roams upon the land, this soil unchanging, yet at the same time, change constantly happening. Perhaps a day will come when Taran once again become the building blocks of our children's minds, and I'd be willing to embrace such a transformation. And if there were those who wish this change to be rapid, an explosion even reversive of the natural trend? What is the use of an idea? You are planting a feather in the ground, imagining it growing into a foul beast. From the first poetry anthology you published, it's one of my particular favorites. That is my answer to this question of yours. In my own view, I can't, and have no thought to alter the soil. I'm simply the one trying hard to plant feathers. An idea fundamentally ought to be free, with no one who can interfere. Each feather that grows in each person's heart may be totally unalike, just as we all have different hopes for the future of this great swath of soil. I understand, Mr. Williams. Allow me to speak from the heart. It's been truly pleasant to chat with you. Leader, something's not right. What is it? Cello's lot have gone over 40 minutes without sending anything. Weren't they meant to be dealing with the troops at the barracks? You told them they were to send a message every half hour. Right as we set off, Cello was even gripping at me how this mission was too boring. And on top of that, don't you feel like it's a little too quiet all around? I've been keeping watch at the window, ought to be able to see people going in and out of the plaza, but then all of a sudden it was like something happened, and everyone scampered away. Don't tell me. The ones tailing us before were the barracks.
The ballroom doors are kicked open without warning. Dozens of soldiers, armed to the teeth, come charging in.
Good heavens, what's happening? Why the sudden show of force? You have the audacity to point a weapon at me? Do you understand who we are?
Who is it? Who let the secret out? Damn and blast, we need to get out of here quick.
Harry, go inform Madame Mandragora. Just say we've got trouble. What? You mean they're all gone? When did this happen? A whole hour ago? You useless...
All of you, stay where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, no mistake, you have been utterly captured. Alright, and now we continue on to stage 9-6, titled Dublin. In the wake of a surprise attack, the ghosts climb out of the ashes. Only a before part here, so let's begin.
Colonel?
We meet again, Scamandros.
You don't seem one bit surprised.
Surprised? No, from the first I met you, I have not been one bit surprised. You were bound to mingle with this rabble, simply because of that cheap sympathy you learned from your noble etiquette classes.
You shadowed us.
I'd rather term this rational management. Regardless of anything, I must thank you. If it weren't for your leading the way, I wouldn't have such a sublime opportunity to net all these rot-eating vermin in one fell swoop. You hide fairly deep most of the time, don't you? I confess I'm quite curious. What made you so audacious as to get her up? Could it be that from the outcome of your last few pathetic, negligible sneak attacks, you mistakenly believed County Hillock was already under your control?
Colonel, sir, I believe there may be some misunderstandings at play here. That is wrong, Baron Bolton. There is no misunderstanding between us whatsoever. I am pristinely clear about your confidential lowly dealings. It's only some of my good friends and family gathered here today that I can guarantee you on my very name. Shut up kindly, good sir. The honor you've inherited from your ancestry purchases nothing in my eyes.
You have some nerve saying that?
The one dishonoring your so-called noble reputation isn't me by far. Who are they? Reveling in the position and wealth Victoria accords them, then turning to secretly collude with the most lowly rebels of them all?
This is out-and-out slander.
I'm starting to be sick of this blather now. You rebel should behave as a rebel outside, weeping in the light of a blaze while you confess your own wrongdoings. Just as he said, from outside the window comes wails and cries, the glass reflecting speckled points of fire.
Leader, look outside. It's not just here. He's got the torrents from the whole block surrounded too. He's not exaggerating at all. He's covering ordinary residents with military force. I've been around that street before. A huge portion of them are elderly and children. With methods suddenly this radical, it seems there's some other information he has a hold on. He's very likely to have hidden intel about the Spectre Force from us. Nothing from Triangle? No comms at all since afternoon. Flip. Could something have happened to them? There's no point in worrying. What's more pressing right now is we should hold the troops back as much as we can. We can't stay trapped in here, at least.
You, the Woovier over there, you are not to think of breaking out through the wall. Before my questioning bears fruit, no one is allowed to leave this room.
He spotted me.
Come out. I see you. No movement. I want you to kneel here and behave. Is there anyone else in your home? Speak up.
No.
You're not hiding anyone? I'll see for myself. Listen, so long as I see you move and muscle, no matter what you're trying at, I will immediately shoot your head through.
What are you doing?
Who are you, coming from nowhere and running in front of my crossbow? Watch your own head. Wait, hold on. I recognize you. You're that guard of honor from Adam's group, aren't you? I saw you at the New Year do. Your group didn't get any order to move. What are you doing here?
I have another assignment nearby I'm on.
Fine, then each to their own. Don't you start getting in my way.
That last called Bagpipe told me I could step forth to change the situation. Can I though? I have to try at least. Did they do something wrong to be treated this rough?
You're asking me. Why don't you go and ask them? What are you crying for? Wasn't it you lot harboring thugs, giving them food and drink, feeding them information?
Do you have evidence?
Evidence? You want evidence? Do the wounds on the 9th and 13th count? Each one of their bodies still warm? Some died by iroriginimards. Some died by mistake of crossbows and some died by makes of crossbows and sabers identical to the ones we carry, and some had traces of their necks left behind by farming tools. Our hands cut off with thrashers like wheat, bodies crushed thin and flat by tractors like plowed land. Have you ever pictured that? The devastation? That's right, you should want to puke. I saw with my own eyes, and I recognize who that head used to belong to. And for an entire afternoon I puked. I couldn't stop.
Why would they treat their own like this? This is too cruel.
Huh, damn right you are. Behaving never suited them. Now you understand. This serves them right, don't you? What are you still blanking out for?
So, these are all bad people? Just because they're all tyrants? I haven't done a thing, sir. She's crying. Her husband already passed away from oropathy, and her child's only pushing 10. Is someone bereft like this really going to be a murderer?
How have I not gotten it through to you? They're all one kind, do you understand? Even if this woman and her child haven't done anything yet, they're all together in this.
If it wasn't a Taran in front of you, but some other Victorian citizen, would you still insist on treating them as treating them all as thugs? I'm just saying, if from the very beginning there were never those discriminatory laws, if Tarans could have earned as much as everyone else, gotten the same chance at healthcare, wouldn't none of this conflict have ever happened?
Alright, Guard of Honor, if you love asking questions so much, keep asking. There won't be an answer. Nobody's got any way of answering you. I'm essentially done searching this house. By now anyway, so it's on to the next one. Hey, I said I was going, not that you could stand up.
Don't take me, Craig can't be without me.
Shut it with all the sobbing. Wailing about your child all day long just so you can go soft on me, is it? Okay, I misread that one, I just realized, but whatever.
Just let her go.
You. Fine, I'm busy anyway. I can afford to ignore this woman. But just to warn you, you might be protecting them now with all your kind heart, but be careful they don't blow you sky high without blinking the moment your head is turned. Don't you forget, after all, you and them aren't the same kind. Have you seen the looks in their eyes before? In their eyes, no matter how you behave, you'll always be one of us.
Just go, please.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
You've not been harmed, no?
The woman shakes her head.
It's lucky. After me and Saoirse talked, I couldn't shake this nervous feeling, and I had to come back and take a look. So it really can be a bit of use to stand up. Come on, I'll help you back inside. For tonight? No, tomorrow as well. Don't go out, please. There's ruffians outside as well. At any rate, Hillock won't be as safe for the next few days. Right, and where is your boy? Craig, he's not at home? Craig, he's been taken away by the soldiers, hasn't he? I don't know. I need to go and find him.
Hill. Colonel, we've just apprehended this one in the corridor outside, right as he was attempting to dive out of the window.
I'm sorry.
Let me guess, this boy is some follower of yours, preparing to send word to somebody or other? The Baron is wiping off a very cold sweat. I want a lawyer. I know the mayor and quite a few members too. Let me go. You have no authority to keep us held like this. It seems my guess was dead on. Every one of you has some involvement. You may speak. All I need to know is where your co-conspirators are hiding. How about this then? I'll count to 3.
Don't kill me. My goodness, why must you have me see such cruelty? You can't be doing this.
Really? Scamandros, tell your subordinate, do I have the right to be doing this?
Leader. Provisional administrative law. In the event we are unable to receive direct orders from Londinium, Colonel Hamilton is the highest acting commander of the County Hillock barracks, and thus possess the authority to impose martial law on the whole city.
I know, but if he's seriously going to do this, then he's essentially declaring a formal war on the hidden army. I fear that one thing they've said is right. We are already suited within a war. But we barely know more than nothing about that army. We are stark open, and they're still in the shadows. No matter what, I don't feel now was good timing to open fire first.
Timing. They never picked any timing when they launched attacks on us unilaterally.
Colonel, even if you won't take any suggestions from our team, I still must express clear opposition to the course of actions you are about to adopt.
Very thankful for your one scrap of self-awareness shown. In honesty, I'm not fond of doing this either. As long as they'd left me another choice, I would never be willing to break the Empire's laws. Yet we're out of time. The hidden enemy is closing in with each step. Isn't this as you said too, Scamandros? You too came to drag the ghosts out into the sunlight. If we don't seize this opportunity and force all the remaining conspirators out, then we will have lost County Hillock before the morrow.
Colonel, I believe the more critical the juncture, the more each step we choose will lead to divergent results. I'm sure there are many innocents among those present. You can take them away first and then...
No, I have no time to squander on pointless interrogation. Right now, on this very spot, these rebelsome drags will make clear where in the world their members are hidden. Hill, do it. We've tarried for long enough.
Colonel.
And who in the hell's bloody bells are you?
Arrest me. I'm the Baron Bolton's guest, and will know much more than any of these poor young people, rendered near unconscious.
Seamus, what are you doing stepping up?
Seamus
Williams. You're that bard?
I am, Colonel.
Very good. I'd been meaning to look for you, so as to keep you from continuing to incite those imbeciles with your blither.
Williams. You need not fret, ma'am. I ought to thank the Colonel, for just a moment ago I worked out how my poem should conclude.
Seize him.
Ball? Where have I seen this?
Hill, order those posted outside to find the rebel who broke that window.
No, this isn't right. There's a sound coming from the ball.
What?
Get down!
Who was that? Where did you show up from?
It's you. Going for the Colonel, double time. Fort has run into the thugs in an alley by the square.
This group has been annihilated. Leader, the nearby Terran blocks have all been occupied by ours.
You lot are... It's you. You're the one we've been waiting for. You actually gave your hand to me. There'll be no one else to oppress you again. And you'll never need anyone's arm to lean on again. From this moment on, you can walk freely upon this soil by your own power. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Everything I did, it really was right. There'll be a day for us Tarans when we can have our own city. We can walk heads held high in the streets. We'll never be given unjust treatment again. Yes, it is precisely for that day that we came. Leader, you have to see. It's the fire we lit in your service. The ballroom.
According to the report Madame Mandragora gave, the barracks' top brass are all in there. However,
An explosion of that scale would only give the barracks' arrogance pause. Unfortunately, it could never wipe them out.
Apart from the barracks, who else is there?
Some locals who will us well. They learned of some of our inside matters, and the head's thoughts are, for the overall picture, we can't leave anyone alive to tell tales. They also said if you won't make a move, they will themselves.
In the end, my fire is quicker. Tell them I know what should be done. I'll take the ballroom.
Yes, leader. Your file will break these shackles that have chained us for centuries. And shit hit the fan. Very, very quick. And as is indicated by the very change in the background right now, shit indeed hit the fan, sir. So anyway, the next part would be the training stage. Obviously, training stages don't carry any story cutscenes, but it introduces us to two mechanics essentially that are going to be going forward throughout this chapter, and that are these tethered pillars and the demolition devices used to demolish the pillars. But anyway, the training stage is titled Ruins Operation, but as said, it's pretty much a training stage. So, we are continuing on to stage 9-7, titled Hide and Seek. The ghosts have shown information amidst the blaze's light, but the thief still hides behind the scenes. So, this one has the after scene, so let's go.
Leader, are you alright? I'm okay, but we're lucky you didn't jump on it this time. You reacted faster than me. At least everyone in this bit of the hall is basically fine, thanks to your shield. I couldn't protect everyone. The smoke's everywhere it'll go. Looks to me like the colonel only took light harm, and they're retreating out another door. The bard. Oh, he was stood too close to the bomb. What a pity. It's not everyone who can step forth for others at blade point. He was a poet, but he had the courage to match an excellent soldier. I wish so badly he could have died with meaning. Well, the enemy's still outside, Bagpipe. Let's evacuate the survivors. Bagpipe?
Bagpipe stares blankly out of the window. In that single moment, it is as if the sound of battle vanishes. A tremendous energy bursts from the depths of the night. Without a flicker of a flare, from the statue to the city hall, all living beings are instantly, silently, snapped to ash. And immediately after, an army seeps out from the night and the ashes, without a sound.
I've never ever seen fire like this before. The headcaster, who is she?
Bagpipe, move away, quick!
You're too close to the window. Given the energy just now, the next attack could blow straight through the walling. Yes, leader. I'm just...
Help me. Hurry, help me! My leg! Ah!
Focus on rescue. Pull back for now.
Who was that? Are there still any Victorian soldiers alive?
It's the enemy all over. By the speed of this march, the Spectre Force infiltrated the city long ago. District 11 to 17 have been occupied far too quick. Can't be. Is this the reason the Colonel went to search those blocks. We need to withdraw south to District 10. The troops and the Spectre Force are doing battle there right now. Don't go off to battle. Take me back to somewhere I can hide in safety first. I can't let the heads find I'm still alive. Take you back? With all of this going on right now, you ought to be taken straight to prison. Lighter. I'll pay you. I can even gift you a city block, so long as you... Leader, can I use my own ways to shut him up? We'll ask a few things more while he's still awake. Who was heading the casters just now? That's, the leader. The Spectre Force's leader? What? Who is she? I don't know. Aren't you compatriots? You had the absolute gall to bring people into your house without knowing nothing? She is the Duke's guest. Duke? Which one? I can't... He died? The Spectre Force did that? Don't they band together? Why are the Spectre Force targeting their own? Let's get out of here first.
You, hold still. Who are you? What are you doing here?
I was just delivering medicine. You all started fighting before I knew it.
Delivering medicine? For who? Is it the Victorian soldiers?
Rhode Island's medicine is for infected use, and we don't pay mind to patients' identities.
Your movements are suspect.
It's all right now, Will.
Outcast, the lass, you came just in time.
Hey, you got the comms this afternoon, didn't you? Rhode Island's called an emergency stop to all daily business in County Hillock.
I got it, yeah, but
you wanted to finish delivering the rest. You're a good kid. Pass me the meds, and I'll deliver what's left for you.
Lass, what on terror's going on outside? There was fighting everywhere in just a blink.
Several hundred years of accumulated resentment put to use, turned into a fire ready to destroy all. And let me tell you, it's only just getting started. Hurry on back. Now that I'm here, my highest priority is making sure we don't lose a single Rhode Islander.
Alright, lass. Right, I just got sight of Miss Jane near District 17. She's come to the office so often. We all half treat her as a Rhode Island operator. She's a Victorian soldier, and with what these rioters think, they won't just let her go.
Got it. I'll amend my previous statement. We're not losing even half a Rhode Islander. Leader, I've evacuated everyone I could. Good. Do you have any injuries? None. It's been a little reassuring in a way while coming to blows all night. Aside from that headcaster and a couple strong folk, most of the rest of the soldiers are still normal people. They've gotten training, but their discipline's not much to speak of. With equal numbers and an open confrontation, they wouldn't be any match for our team. You're giving it preconditions. Besides, their main opponent is the barracks. You're right, leader. If they're going to fight them, the barracks won't be on the front foot. Any more discoveries? The weapons they armed with are all first grade. Just now when I went rescuing those few officials and nobles, someone tried to sneak on me at the corner, and after I knocked him out, I brought what he was holding back. A Victorian standard military crossbow? It's a model from 2 years ago, but it's been modified. Look at these two coils and the guide rail underneath. A shield-piercing rounds accelerator. I'm not too smart with crossbows, and I've never saw this in the army at our school. Is this our tech? Doesn't seem to like it. Bagpipe, have I overlooked something maybe? We came to investigate the theft of originium products, correct? Yes, the Spectre Force want to fend against our regular army without a doubt, so they'd need a lot of weapons for sure. But the crossbows in our hands reveal a lot of information. Firstly, the enemy has secretly been plotting for longer than we thought. Secondly, beyond the goods they've stolen from our possession, there are other powers that have been funding their operations in the long term. In other words, in this instance here, they had no plans to take up new equipment and rush to arms. Right, so in that sense, where did the weapons we lost most recently go? So you've realized where the problem is. The Spectre Force finally shows themselves, but the originium products that disappeared in County Hillock are still missing. I hope Triangle's found some new leads. Triangle in a hushed voice. Here, leader. Is your group still doing alright? Snare's been lightly injured. The others can still operate. It's just, everyone's tired and hungry. Our situation's not that nice for sure. Were you involved in combat yesterday too? Yes, since nightfall, the large number of enemies have suddenly poured out. It's like they were just lying in wait in the greenhouse and irrigation systems all this time. That seems to be exactly where they hid themselves. For the troops not familiar with the agricultural plates, it'll be exceedingly difficult to win that hide and seek. We fought face to face with a small wave of them. There were far too many enemies in my view, and we hid away on my lead, all the way until daybreak. You've done very well. Can you return to the city? That'll be a little tricky, leader. Half of them have gone into the city, and the other half are still around everywhere. Leader, our group all agrees we should continue with our initial task. We've discovered a transport vehicle. Your guess was right. Someone really did use an agricultural transport route to convey these originium products somewhere. Not that much each time. These ones today most likely are the last of them. These ones today? Where are you? We're hidden on board the transport vehicle right now. I can't risk talking too much. Where they might hear. Next time we make contact, you'll know who the thief was. This is too dangerous. Leader, you and Bagpipe, be careful too. Triangle, out. Bagpipe, inform Cello ASAP. We're returning to the barracks now. District 3 through 9 have fallen. The City Hall, the newspaper, and Good Mary's Hospital are simultaneously under enemy attack. Baron Pollett's wife sent an urgent cable. She's lost contact with her husband since early morning. She's requesting the barracks' help. Colonel, I have something to say. Let her in. I hope you aren't here to give me nonsense, Commanderos. As you can see, our enemies... I have no time to contest with you again. Colonel, the enemy is hiding in the agricultural plates. What? That's where they were concealed. On top of that, they are not all in the city. They have even more hands. I knew it. I suggest you send someone fast to evacuate the citizens at the AG plates and carry out emergency decoupling of the central city and those plates ASAP to avoid letting even more of the enemy into the city. I don't need you instructing me on what to do. Colonel, it may not be in your power to prevail if we solely depend on the station troops and my platoon to cope with the enemy forces infiltrating the city. We have to ensure the enemy gets no further reinforcement. You can go. Colonel? It's my business how County Hillock is preserved. In the principal duty that is upholding the security of the Victorian Empire, we should be united. Hill, show her out. Did you hear that, Hill? The AG plates. Ha! They're hiding in the AG plates. I deduced that much
I deduced as much long ago. Who else would open the door for the ghosts? Yes, Colonel, the Tarans are assisting them. How are the artillery battalion's preparations? According to plan, the final batch of material will arrive at around noon. Good. Have them speed up the remodeling. Every time I even think of those disgusting things bounding around in my city, it has me eager to finish this. Oh yes, Commanders and their subordinate. The wolf from Londinium is still biting fast and won't let go. You've heard, haven't you? They have a helping hand outside. Give the command. Regardless of the means, we cannot let anyone stand in the way of our plans. Yes, Colonel. As for Commandos, before we're done, we cannot be left to act freely. I understand. I have realized something, thanks to her talking to. Why were our movements last night at Bolton's already known to the enemy? Scamandros. No, it couldn't be, though she shares that weakness and naivete innate to her kind of nobility. She has a highly secure loyalty to the Empire. It seems rabble is ultimately rabble. Their base nature always stiff to bend. Within these last few hours, one more thing must be done, and it's long overdue. Alright, and we will end today's narration on stage, or rather the cutscene 9-8. Verse in the Ashes. A great flame may have burned this land to its end, but I see someone's soul on the other side of the scales. Leader, we found them.
Good. Bring them forth. What are you doing? Let go of me! It was you who tipped off the Victorian army about the meeting. What? How do you know? Wait a moment, it's you. You're the one the chief editor was talking about. You're going to bring about a war, lead us to throw off our oppressors, just like they said? No, you'll bring death. Turn our homeland to ruins, just like you're doing now. The source of it all, everything, it was you. What I will bring is victory only. And you, Sir Shakali, have deeply harmed our people's trust in you. Because of your duplicity, my honest men have fallen into enemy prisons, and due to your betrayal, countless fighters have lost their chance to ever see the glory of victory. You must pay the price for your actions. Did they really die because of what I did? Last night, all those gathering in that room, a huge amount of them sincerely wanted to welcome you. They believed you would bring us good change. And now they've been blown apart, scorched to earth just like the street. Is it really me who lit this fire?
Shut your mouth, traitor. You feeble weak defector. How can you understand a martyr's resolve? Rather than fall into enemies' hands, suffer humiliation and torment, they would welcome the leader's fire with heads high. For the welfare of the Tarans, they had no choice but to sacrifice themselves in the flames of war. Sentence her, leader. Give her the death penalty.
The death penalty? Of course, don't you see? Only the deaths of traitors can calm the rage of the warriors. Besides, look at the locals. They want to come closer but don't dare. They fear us, fear you. This is the chance to make them submit. Once you put this traitor to death, they'll learn nobody betrays Dublin and lives. Betrayal. Sir Shakali, have you ever pondered the consequences of betrayal? Maybe I'll die, but I've no regrets. You have me dead for wanting to save my family and friends, and that only proves I did the right thing. If no one else stops you, ever more blood will stain your hands.
You are courageous.
I didn't mishear, did I? You praise a traitor for courage?
She is one of our fellows, too.
She wasn't any longer, ever since she chose to stand in the way. What's the point of prattling about this, really? If I was her, I wouldn't be asking so much. Words from the condemned should have no effect on you.
What if it were my sister? They're all asking it. And yet I don't like thinking like this. I never liked it.
Do it, now! You've got all these eyes on you. The longer you delay, the weaker we look. Who wants to follow a weak leader? How could the people follow a weak army?
She didn't give me a choice. This child isn't the first of our fellows I've killed. How young was I then? She had me burn the Victorian merchant who wouldn't sell us bread to death. I forget how I did it. I shut my eyes and lifted a knife, yet stabbed into only a pile of acrid ashes. And after more and more ashes came, just like this child, the braver, the faster they burn. Saoirse Kelly, in my name as the leader of Dublin, I sentence you to death. I will carry out the execution personally, right here.
Seems I'm going to die after all. Leader, you're the leader. Probably no one could stop you, and probably my whole family will die too, but can you tell me, will we win? Will we reach the day when us tyrants can all live a better life?
We will.
Good, that's good. At least at this moment I'm willing to believe.
Do you have anything else to say?
Fire. I saw the fire on the tip of your lance. Will it hurt badly when I'm burned alive? No, don't tell me after all. I can't bear to hear. I ask of you, tell my ma and my dad if they can still live after everything's over. I've hidden from them some money in the third drawer by my bed. I wanted to buy my bouquet of flowers for her birthday next month. Tell them I'm sorry, everyone.
I promise you.
I don't want to die. I'm scared. Maybe next spring in the burning soil, a willow might sprout.
For Dublin. I've said these words countless times. Every time I do, my chest sears in burning pain, as if the spear wasn't in my hands, but stabbed into my body. Again and again I tell myself, life burns easy, and they are all fuel. And I'm no exception.
Huh, she's dead. That's decent enough. Give the order, make everyone else know the traitor's been executed. The next one wants to go informing. They'll be waiting to crumble to charcoal like her.
Yes, sir.
As for you, what's wrong with you today? Dragging your heels is so hard, the soldiers saw. Even though their leader would be... Even thought their leader would be soft on traitors. Hey, you can't really be turning soft, can you? It's one girl. You and your fire burned most of the street in a snap yesterday. Here I thought you finally seemed apart a bit, leader.
Do I seem the part? Seem what part?
I haven't been able to tell what I seem for a long time.
Ever since I was little, I've only seen her appearance, her speech, her fire. She had me become this way too. I couldn't do it, so I was bound to hide under her fire's light.
She's a million miles off again. Every time I see her look like that, I just want to get up in her face and scream. Jealous now? Don't give me shit. I just can't stomach seeing the face she puts on. Must be nothing but drain water soap bubbles in that head. Why'd the leader put her in this position? If it weren't for the face she was born with, she'd be a waste of space. Can't even execute a traitor properly. So you did it for her. She hasn't the capability to tell herself, but I saw it as quite obvious. Before the fire caught, an unseeable rock had already bored through the girl's chest. I just couldn't hold on. All because of this shameless traitor. I broke my back gathering all those rich and powerful supporters, and you know what? Dead. Dust to dust. Farewell. Oh, I didn't think you had even a lick of the pitying type in you. Huh. Even a bunch of meat beasts would show some use before they died, right? Well done now. Well done. Turn to coke with a bump. Good enough, perhaps? That they died so simply. Don't forget, that little greedy plan of yours nearly buried us all deep under. I did it for the leader, in Dublin. You can't tell me you don't think she's unsuited, even if she didn't bring all the people. I could have handled County Hillock fine. No, even better. I could have done even better. If the leader could just trust me some more. Unsuited? Well, I won't say you're not right. People, well, they're best of understanding, after all, not to yearn day in and day out about clambering up where they don't belong. Or else, you know, they miss one tiny thing, trip and fall, all the la-di-da way down. Bang! And it's flesh and bones everywhere. Are you getting on my case? How could I be? Let's go. You're just pissing yourself off staring at her. We still have to discuss the next step. The bandit, the emulator, the accountant, the toxicologist, the convict, and the illusionist. We sent the notice out yesterday, so gauging the time, they should all have arrived. The city hall's ours now, and we've got quite a few VIPs and nobility under control too. But it's still not enough. We need to have County Hillock totally occupied before the leader gets here. Keep biting and you'll clean your nail off before you know it. Much bloody appreciated. When it happens, don't you come begging me in tears to paint you a new design. When have I ever cried in front of you? I just don't like getting the credit. I just don't like letting the credit go to others. Alright. You think I don't know you? You were one of the first to start following the leader. You ought to set your sights a bit farther some. One single hillock and you're in this frenzy of a state. You don't even think it's embarrassing. You mean... Once things are all done here, the leader needs someone to run a trip to Londinium in her stead. Say that sooner. Quick, let's go. I need County Hillock, one within half a day. Each one of them has their own greed inside, wild and wondrously formed, and not even the fiercest fires could burn them all through. So what about mine? I only want to hide. Yet does a shadow have the right to flee?
Leader. Madame Harmony is inviting you to hold a meeting.
Do I have to go?
Madame did say if you really don't want to go, they can respect your wishes.
Respected? How kind of her. Soldier, go and tell them, carry it all out according to plan. They know their own duty, they don't need me pushing them. As for me, I need to think in peace. Order your people to keep proper watch, and let nobody disturb me.
Yes, leader.
I need a little time. What is this?
In the ruins of the village I found a piece of paper. It was fragile, very much so, all four corners charred black, and as I picked it up, half fell to ash, and sadly only half of the words were left upon it. Why should I lose heart? A great flame may have burned the whole land to its end, but I see someone's soul on the other side of the scales. It was a poem, a verse missing its beginning. These words seemed freshly written, the ink still not naturally set, before fire scorched it dry. Yes, my fire. My soul.
Alrighty then, this is where we are gonna leave it off for this time. And I assure you, if you're thinking that we are going kind of slowly with this chapter, considering that this chapter has 19 stages in total when it comes to the final battle stage, it does have 2 extra cutscenes behind that as well, long ones from what I remember. But the next couple of stages are pretty much gonna be just a scene before and after battle, and a couple of them don't even have anything on them, so you'll see next episode we're gonna make a lot of progress through this chapter alone. But yeah, this will be it for today's narration. Shit literally hit the fan, and ashes have been scattered. The Dublin army has arrived, or rather has shown itself, and whoever has thought at that moment while reading originally or listening to me right now, hey, that leader in quotes seems familiar. Yes, that leader is Operator Reed. And why is she there? And how does she actually become a Rhode Island operator? Well, stick around is all I can say. Stuff will be happening in the future. But yeah, anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this portion of the story. And next part should be at some point next week. Cannot guarantee at exactly what point, but next week will be the continuation of this chapter. And by my calculations, it will probably be that and one more part after that, and we're going to be done with chapter 9 and going to be moving into chapter 10, which is currently the newest chapter in the global version. Hopefully should be done before chapter 11 releases, right? But anyway, like I said, hope everybody enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.